Dear sisters and brothers, good evening and welcome to today's session of Being Heartful Every Day, a joyful adventure. This program is being conducted to celebrate the 125th birth anniversary of revered Babuji Maharaj. This is a year-long program. We are on day 171 of week 25, and the quality for the week will be stillness. Again, welcome to the program. My name is Prasanna Krishna. I'll be facilitating today's session. Before we start the program, a very humble request to everybody that we should think of one or two people in our friends and family circles who have not yet started Heartfulness and forward to them masterclasses by Daji so that they can also understand about the Heartfulness and start doing the practice. Also, this program, Being Heartful Every Day, is being received extremely well, and there are a lot of people undergoing it and finding it beneficial. So if you know of people who are already practicing but not registered to the program, please ask them to register by sending an email to BHED@heartfulness.org. Okay. Let's continue with the inspirational reading part of it. We were reading this article by Daji on the stillness, the art of arriving at stillness. I'll just take a couple of paragraphs. We'll go back a couple of paragraphs from where we stopped the other day so that we are ready with the context. So I'll start with the paragraph which talks about in the book Truth Eternal, Lalaji Sahib says, Atman is made of At and Man. At means to move, and Man means to think and contemplate. Brahman is derived from Bruha and Man. Bruha means to grow or expand, and Man means to think. So that which moves and thinks is Atman, and that which grows and thinks is Brahman. Between Atman and Brahman, what is common is thinking and contemplation. Atman can only move, whereas Brahman has the possibility of expansion. Now, what is the difference between movement and expansion? Movement is unidirectional or one-dimensional, whereas expansion is a 360-degree or multidimensional. Now, when we move into Parabrahman, we go beyond thinking and contemplation, beyond movement and expansion, to absolute stillness. When we reach there, we experience indescribable stillness, the Parabrahman state, because now we are closer to the center. Take it a little differently. Consider that the earth is revolving around the sun while spinning on its own axis at a very high speed. If you are seated on the equator, you will have maximum exposure to the moment. Whereas when you're on the North Pole, you will feel as if you're stationary, as you're on top of the axis. So the key is to find the axis within ourselves. How is it possible? It's possible only when you match your movements with those of your axis. And what are those movements all about? The ability of your mind to settle down. That is what Lalaji meant when he said that it is the settledness of the mind on a subject that brings happiness. If that settledness is not there, then you will be jumping from one thing to another without any resolution. You will not have any closure. You will not have any satisfaction, and you will not have any peace. You will still be vacillating and dissatisfied all your life, and you will not have learned anything from all these activities. So, settledness is the key. When you meditate, you must feel settled. Or you can put it this way: if the meditation is correct, you will automatically feel settled. Of course, settledness does not mean inactivity. In fact, it is activity at a dimension we have never conceived of before. When you have a subject to study, a business venture to work upon, and a conversation with your child, your mind should be steady on them. At the same time, your mind should also be steady on other things that you may need to attend, that you may need to attend to. The steadiness should be there. It is not that when you're fully attentive to one thing, you're less attentive to another. One does not rob your mind of the capacity for the other. It depends on how you develop your capacity, so as to how you can expand these things. So, as you progress, you will not feel that you're thinking or contemplating. It just becomes a part of your nature. It is like developing any other capacity. For example, when little children have to add 2 plus 2, a lot of thinking is involved. But as a teenager, you have a complex equation in your mind and contemplate on it, no longer needing to think. You are able to contemplate. When you advance a little more, you're neither thinking nor contemplating, as the answer just comes like that. The nature of Atman is movement, and at that stage, you're focused one to one. Brahman is expansion, which means you develop a 360-degree consciousness. And when you reach Parabrahman, it's like you are everywhere at the same time. It is of a nature where you have gone beyond expansion, and that is why there is stillness. You see it happening when things are moving extremely fast. So let's look at it from a perspective of infinite movement versus perfect stillness. What is infinite movement? We can understand this by considering Newtonian theory and particles. If you go from Detroit to New York City by car, you will go at a certain speed. Let us say you take 8 or 9 hours. If you take a flight, you will arrive there in an hour and 15 minutes. If you take one of those old supersonic flights, by the time they announce you're taking off, you're already landing. If you fly at the speed of tachyon particles, you can be in New York and Detroit at the same time. How is this relevant to infinite movement? I think let's take a pause here, introspect on what we have read so far. I think Daji is taking things to a very high level, from Atman to Brahman to Parabrahman. So let's contemplate on it a bit more, introspect what we just read. 9 o'clock will start the universal prayer. It's almost it's 9 p.m. now. Let's begin our universal prayer. Sit comfortably, gently close your eyes, and let's get into a very prayerful state of existence. And let's pray that all brothers and sisters are being filled with love and devotion, and real faith is growing stronger in them. Like we have been discussing, I'll repeat it again. There are two things which are very, very important in this process. One is we should get into this very prayerful state. The words have a lot of meaning, very deep meaning, but unless we complement it with a state of prayerfulness, our prayer will not be effective. The second thing we have to keep in mind is our heart should be filled with love and devotion and faith, so that our prayers can be more effective. Daji has mentioned quite a few times that unless we have something in the heart, we cannot give it to others. So let's try to develop this feeling of love, devotion, and faith in our heart, and then pray that all brothers and sisters are being filled with love and devotion, and real faith is growing stronger in them. हम आराम से बैठेंगे और अपना आंखें धीरे से बंद करेंगे और एक गहरी प्रार्थना भाव में ये प्रार्थना करेंगे कि सभी भाई बहन प्रेम और भक्ति से भर रहे हैं और उनमें सच्ची श्रद्धा दृढ़ होती जा रही है। जैसे हम बात कर रहे हैं, ये दो तीन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। पहली चीज ये है कि हम जब ये प्रार्थना करते हैं, अपना जो भाव है ना, वो बहुत गहरी प्रार्थना भाव में चले जाना चाहिए। तभी इन शब्दों का जो सच्चा अर्थ है उसका फायदा उठा सकते हैं हम लोग। और दूसरी बात यह है कि जब तक हमारा हृदय में ये प्रेम, भक्ति और श्रद्धा की भाव नहीं होगा, तब तक अपना प्रेयर इतना फायदामंद नहीं होगा। इसलिए हम अपने में ये प्रेम, भक्ति और श्रद्धा को बढ़ाते जाएंगे और ये प्रार्थना करेंगे कि सभी भाई बहन प्रेम और भक्ति से भर रहे हैं और उनमें सच्ची श्रद्धा दृढ़ होती जा रही है। लेट्स कंटिन्यू आवर प्रेयर्स टिल 9:15. While trying to retain the prayerful condition we are in, let's gently open our eyes. We come to the end of today's program. A gentle reminder to everybody that let's sit for a bedtime prayer before we go to bed. And also, I think the 3-day Diwali festivities are starting tomorrow. Wish everybody a very happy Deepavali. Let's meditate more. Let's have good food. Spend time with the friends and family. A very, very happy Diwali to all. There's going to be a series of satsangs with Revered Master. We have one at 9 a.m. tomorrow, another at 8:30 p.m. tomorrow, and again at 9 a.m. the day after. Let's ensure that we can attend them all. And also there's a lovely message by Revered Master on the importance of Diwali, what it means, where are we trying to light a lamp. He says that we are lighting a lamp inside us to remove the darkness within us. And that is the significance of Diwali. So let's all spend the next 3 days in a happy, purposeful way. Thank you. Good night, everybody. Namaste.